up, everyone? It's me, Stef, the alternate, your nerdy alternative, and welcome to the first ever live episode of the Royal Clubhouse. Yes, I've finally been able to launch this thing. Oh my goodness, it has been literally, I want to say like 9-10 months in the making. And guys, my first guest, it had to be my very, very good friend, Sue Smith in the house. Hey up, love, how's it going?
It's going just fine. How are you?
I'm not doing too bad. Thank you so much for agreeing to be my first ever guest on Royal Clubhouse. I know we've been like talking about it for a while. I'm like, I need to get my animations right. And there's a couple that are still not right, and I am getting them redone. But guys, we're launching. It's happening. Hello. How's your week been so far?
My week has been very good. We have a temporary new addition to the house with the dog that my son saved, a little tiny, like 12-pound Pomeranian mix thing. Unfortunately, we're trying to find its owner. Unfortunately, we will not be keeping this dog. Finn does not like the dog, and Finn is my first baby, so we will rehome the dog eventually.
Well, very, very noble of you. And guys, if you love what is coming out of Sue's gob, and why wouldn't you? Because my logic is undeniable, then make sure you head on over to Sue's channel, Sue Smith. Sue, if you could just give us a little bit of a lowdown of, what happens on your channel, what you discuss, what they're to expect when they come over to your little corner of the internet, love.
Well, I typically do videos about the royals, but when I do the royals, I do all the royals. I'm talking the good, the bad, not always UK royals. So I split my content up into 3 videos every single day, Monday through Saturday. I take Sunday off. And you'll get a video about what's going on, with everybody, Harry and Meghan, the latest news. And of course, the third video is always the palate cleanser of what's going on with the working royals.
So there's a lot going on then.
There's a lot going on.
A lot going on. So with that being said, guys, a couple of thank yous before we get into it. Michaela Border, thank you so much for hitting that join button and becoming our newest leader alongside Kate Mariner and Azif. Azif in the house. Hey up, mate. How's it going? So everyone say hey up to our newest leaders, and hearts in the chat for them, because, they went one step further and actually clicked on the join button themselves. We're already on 3 new leaders for today's stream. Just 2 more away from magic 5. So who else is going to kick in and click on that join button? Guys, we may soon find out. Also, as well, oh my goodness, the support. Ms. M, thank you so much for the $2 sugar bucks. You've just ruined a sugar's day by sending some sugar bucks my way. And it's my favourite. Yay! The Ginger Doggy Fighting Arts moment. Yes. For those that don't know, this is a ginger doggy. Hearts are coming from the tail. When you lift the tail from a doggy, what's directly underneath? The butthole. Therefore, this is a ginger doggy fighting arts moment. You will never be able to ever unsee it ever again. You are very welcome. You're also welcome as well, Sue. Tracy Lynn George as well. Thank you so much for your continued support for the leadership, saying excited for the first Royal Clubhouse episode. Me too. And Lisa Boo, thank you so much for your continued support for the leadership, saying, cannot believe 2 years, love this community. I know, right? It's been a while. But thank you so much to everyone that's tuned in live for the first ever Royal Clubhouse with my first ever guest, Sue Smith. Thank you so much for joining again, hon. And let's crack into it with the first segment, which is, guys, the Megsian Hazard News of the Week. Cut the reel, nah.
We want privacy. 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 We want privacy.
We want privacy. We want privacy. We want privacy. And yes, it is the first segment, which is the Hazard and Megsi News of the Week. And guys, I mean, come on. It was all over the interwebs, Twitter, Reddit, all this week. The CBS interview.
The train wreck.
Oh my goodness. I mean, Sue, what are your thoughts on this absolute, as you say, train wreck of an interview? Like, what the hell is going on?
Well, I did multiple videos on this from the minute they came around the corner where Harry was 5 steps behind her to where they were sitting in the interview and Harry was leaning as far away from Meghan as he could get, to her putting her hand on his knee, trying to make it look like they're a loving couple, and Harry just looking like, oh my God, she's touching me. It shows, if anything, the state of their marriage. And of course, since the interview has come out, we've heard multiple stories. There was a screaming match because Meghan was upset that Jane Pauley went off script and asked her a not pre-approved question. You know, all of these are always pre-approved. She was upset about that. She was upset about some of the things that Harry had said. I felt that the hand on the knee was a warning. Stop talking, Harry. I've got this. And I just, the whole thing was from beginning to end was just cringe. Their ratings for this show, as well as the ITV interview, were in the toilet. And this was the first joint interview they'd given since the Oprah show. And I think it just shows that people are just sick of it. They're sick of them.
Yeah, I don't think it went the way they hoped. And this is a thing, right? This is all about supposedly the parents' network. But yet again, they made it all about them. The Invictus Games, you see it time and time again. They make it all about them. The spotlight's on them. It's not on the veterans. Yet again, you've got grieving parents here. Spotlight should be on them, but instead, it's on these two jokers here.
You know, they brought up her suicidal ideation again. And when she said, I've just scratched the surface, I thought, oh, that's a threat. That is a threat, because if she's just scratching the surface, what was the Oprah show? What was the Me You Can't See? What was the variety interview? What was the cut interview? What was all of that if she's just I feel like she's running out of content, because let's face it, she's been out of the royal family longer than she was in it. And the royal family has cut them off and is not giving them any more information. And so she's going back to her old I was suicidal deal. I just feel like the whole thing was just cringe. And I felt bad for those parents. Those parents got used horribly, in my opinion. And I think it's terrible that it's basically what they've done is they've set up a chat room, like there aren't a gazillion of those already, for parents who have lost children. And I also found it, let me just say, quite hypocritical that Harry wants to help keep the internet safe. And two of these parents talked about losing their children due to buying drugs off the internet, where Harry fully admits that he's using illegal drugs, cocaine and marijuana and magic mushrooms, to clean the windshield and how healthy it is. But yet he's talking about protecting these kids. I mean, I don't get it. I don't get it at all.
It makes zero sense. I mean, there's contradictions all over the shop when it comes to this interview. I mean, one of which that I actually reported on earlier on this week, a couple of days ago, was the simple fact that, like, it was only 3-4 months ago when she was at that South by West thing. And she turns around and she says she stays away from social media and the internet for her own sanity, for her own health. However, in this interview, and I put it in this video here, so if you guys haven't watched it, go check it out. I'll go into much more detail in that video there. But in a nutshell, she now turns around in this CBS interview and she's like, we know what's going on the internet. We know what's happening, blah, blah, blah. Well, hang on a minute. Only 4 months ago, you said that you stay away from the internet and social media. So how now, all of a sudden, do you know what's going on social media and the internet? Freaking walking contradiction if I've ever seen one, right, Sue?
If I'm not mistaken, I believe it was Neil Sean who reported that she actually has 6 different social media accounts, and she continually scours the internet. They're always looking for the things that are being said. And you know that they're watching, because then articles will come out refuting. Like, for instance, it was, Harry recently, somebody brought up the whole Nazi uniform thing, and a Puff Piece article just came out saying he so regrets that. It was one of the biggest mistakes of his life. Well, how did you even know anybody was talking about it again if you weren't on the internet? And just basic, obviously they're on the internet.
It's obvious, guys. It's obvious. But special mention, guys, needs to go to this notion that it was Megsy's birthday this week. Oh, many happy returns, however old you are, Megsy. It's a little bit contested at the moment. However, controversial. However, what happened yet again this year? The royal family snubbed her. Did not publicly wish her a happy birthday.
You know what I'm going to say?
Go on.
She and Harry have not publicly wished the king, William, Catherine, or any of the children, or Camilla, a happy birthday in how many years? And as a matter of fact, and again, I did a video on this, for some reason, every time it's Louis's birthday, she does something to overshadow it, from releasing a picture to announcing new things that they're doing. Literally on Louis's birthday, she's done that every year for the last 5 years. I did a whole video on it. It's don't say you're snubbed when you don't wish them a happy birthday either.
Well, this is the thing. But I mean, yeah, you've got the pattern of Louis's birthday and what she does there, but it seems to be a pattern with both Hazard and Megsy that they do something either on the eve or on the day when there is a major royal, let's call it event, right? I mean, it was only what? A couple of months back when it was Trooping the Colour, Princess Catherine made her return to royal public life. And what does Megsy do? Through natural, as far as I'm concerned, dog biscuits and raspberry jam.
Yes, and when people pointed that out, she said, I'm not responsible for what he does. He puts it out when he wants. I had nothing to do with it. And it's like,
BS.
Do you really think people are that stupid? Of course
BS.
He put it out when you told him to. And it's no different than when William and Catherine came to Boston for the Earthshot Prize. And right as they were landing, that whole setup thing with Miss Hussey happened, and then they released the Netflix trailer for their special, and then they released the Invictus trailer, and then they released, they constantly tried to steal the headlines back. They do this with every major event of every royal person. It's a pattern. We all know what's going to happen.
Yeah, we all know it's going to happen. We all know when the next royal event happens, we're going to hear a little bit more from Hazard and Megsy, and they're going to do something else ridiculously stupid. Guys, with that being said, that is the end for the Megsy and Hazard News of the Week segment. We are going to be carrying on, but for all those that are watching on the replay, if you haven't done so already, if you liked this and you want more, and of course there's going to be more, then make sure you subscribe to join our alternate tribe, because I'll be honest with you, help us now get to 1 million so we can also get that go play button right there and hopefully cause a Meghan Markle meltdown on Instagram. Like, share, comment down below your opinion, conspiracy theories, whatever's. And if you loved what was coming out of Sue's mouth, and of course you did, because my logic's undeniable, then make sure you also head on over to her channel, Sue Smith on YouTube, for all your daily royal goodness. Not only just on the Gruesome Twosome, she does all the royals, don't you, Sue?
Yes, I do. Like we were just talking about, one of the Norway royals' children is in trouble, but I guess we'll cover that when we get to that segment.
Yes, we will cover that when we get to that segment. So for all those watching on the replay, thank you very much for tuning in. Appreciate your faces, and until the next time, you guys, laters. All right. That's the first one, the Megsian Hazard News of the Week. What did you guys think to that so far? Let me know in the live chat. In the meantime, we did get a little bit of support during that segment from Stephen Magnus. Thank you so much for the £5 sugar bucks. You've just ruined Sugar's day by sending some sugar bucks my way, saying that the Form 990 Parents Together Foundation 2022 Archwell donated $50,000. The charity's been going since 2015 and it wasn't founded by them. Oh, now they're making out that it's all to me, they're making it out that they founded it, that they've created it, that they've got these parents together, this, that, and the other. Oh, interesting.
Well, this would not be the first time that they've donated money and took credit for somebody else's. There was I can't remember the name of it, but it was an Afghan welcome center for new people that had come into the community. And they made it sound like it was all Meghan's, and it had been going for over 10 years and was in multiple cities. All they did was give a little bit of a donation and suddenly it's theirs. That's typical behavior.
Well, let's get on to the next segment, guys. And oh my goodness, this is going to be a fun one. So Sue and I, for the next segment, we are not allowed to mention the gruesome twosome at all in any way, shape or form. This is the non-Hazard and Megsie news segment of the week. Let's crack into it, guys.
We want privacy. 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 We want privacy.
Yeah, I pressed the wrong one. Let's try that again. Of course. It's hiccups for the first one, guys. Bear with me. Let's go in 3, 2, 1. Okay, so welcome to the they shall not be named news of the week. And I am here with my good friend Sue Smith. And guys, whilst you're watching this segment on the replay, if you like what's coming out of a gob, and of course you will do because my logic's undeniable, then do make sure that you head on over to her channel, Sue Smith, for all the Royal Daily Tea goodness. You don't just report on they who shall not be named during this segment, but other members of the royal family as well, such as, Princess Catherine. We have a health update as new plans have been confirmed. So let's go through this and let's see what's going on. So apparently it's been reported that Princess Catherine is set to join the royal family for their summer holiday at Balmoral this month, marking her longest journey since her cancer diagnosis. We do know that they are regular visitors, both Princess Catherine and Prince William, to the estate, spending every summer there since their wedding in 2011. So it looks like, regardless of her health issues, she's not going to make this an exception. She's going to go no matter what, which to me speaks to her quiet strength that she's got, which is absolutely amazing. We do know that she's still currently undergoing the preventative cancer treatment, the preventative chemotherapy. She's mostly been staying at the Adelaide Cottage on the Windsor estate with occasional visits to Anmer Hall in Norfolk. But according to the Mail on Sunday, where all this has come from, she'll be joining Prince William and their children on holiday in North East Scotland, along with King Charles and Queen Camilla. Her decision to make the long journey could be seen as further reassurance that she is making good progress after her diagnosis. So, Sue, before we go any further, what have you heard about Princess Catherine up to date, of how she's doing, what's going on? Like, what's your 411 on it all?
My thought process on this is that no news is good news. I will not speculate. They've asked us not to speculate, even though obviously I might have some medical knowledge in this area. They've asked us not to speculate on what type of cancer she had, so I'm not going to. But I think people are under the mistaken impression that every chemo has to be given by IV or through a port. Some chemo can be done by pill form. So there's really no reason for her, if she's on oral, chemo, for her not to go to, on vacation with the kids and with William.
Okay, that's fair enough. Is there any kind of situation that you would find whereby she wouldn't be able to go on to vacation, just generally speaking, for another person in her position?
I'm going to guess that she hasn't had, see, it's hard to guess. It's hard to say because you don't know what's doing at home. Like, for instance, when she became pregnant with George and she developed, that medical problem where she was vomiting all the time. And they sent her, she went into the hospital. From that point on, with each pregnancy, as she became sick, they took care of it at home. They put IVs in her at home. So, you don't really know what's going on at home. She could be getting, IV boluses and other things at home, but we won't be made aware of that. So, but I'm going to guess, like I said, no news is good news. If things were taking a turn for the worst, and it had gotten to that point, I'm pretty sure the royal family would make some sort of an announcement. There would be something. And they have said nothing other than she's, taking care of herself. And again, it's preventative. So obviously, whatever surgery they had, they removed what they considered to be cancer. If there were lymph nodes around, they probably took out the lymph nodes. And if her margins were clear, then the preventative chemo is just to kill any, small itty bitty microscopic cancer cells that might still have been around. Preventative chemo can last for 6-9 months, depending, sometimes longer. And I believe she's been doing this not quite 6 months yet, if I'm adding correctly. So she has a little bit of a ways to go, but she could be behind the scenes. She could be, vomiting. She could have all kinds of other issues that they're handling. So you know what? Let her go and relax at Balmoral. She's earned it.
Definitely. And talking about behind the scenes, apparently it's been revealed that with their children, they all participate in household duties. Saw Saints Mail on Sunday that I think it would surprise people to see how ordinary things are at home. Do you know what? It doesn't surprise me. It doesn't surprise me at all because Princess Catherine.
She's down to earth.
She's down to earth. Prince William to a certain extent because of Princess Diana. But I mean, come on, this is Prince William here, heir to the throne. He was born with a silver, gold encrusted, diamond, emerald, whatever, but spoon up his butt. Let's be real here. But Princess Catherine, she is definitely more down to earth. And so for her to have a household that's quite ordinary and the children do some household duties as well, to me, that's not surprising. That's actually more of a testament to her as a mother and bringing them up in such a unusual, unique circumstance. Let's put it that way.
Correct.
Yeah, the source saying the children help with laying the table, clearing their plates when they're finished eating and helping with tidying up. There's no preferential treatment. Brilliant.
They don't have, she had a nanny. Listen, when she had a newborn and a 2-year-old or a newborn, a 2-year-old, and a 4-year-old, they had the nanny to help out. But it's well known that Catherine was still a very hands-on mother. But as soon as the kids all became school age, the nanny is gone, apparently. And they live in that Adelaide cottage. There's, 4 bedrooms. Each child has their own room. They don't have staff. There's security on the grounds. But from what I understand, there's she's the one cleaning the house. She's the one cooking the meals at night. Or William cooks the meals at night. The kids help cook. It's normal family stuff. She didn't want them raised with, cooks and servants and maids, and she didn't want them raised like that. She wanted them to be grounded. And I think she's done an excellent job. George strikes me as a very down to earth kid. He doesn't run around telling people I'm going to be the future king. You know what I mean? He doesn't run around thinking he's special. No.
And speaking of kings, meanwhile, King Charles is currently at the castle of May in Caithness. Apparently, that's his favourite Scottish residence. He's also been undergoing treatment for cancer, but he's been more out there and more visible, which is great to see. He attended the May Highland Games in John O'Groats on Saturday, apparently. He's chosen to spend some time by himself, planning to move to the Balmoral estate later on in the week. He's anticipated to be joined by additional royal family members from the following weekend. Kensington Palace has not provided a statement on the matter. Speaking of additional royal family members, did you see that headline that Beatrice has been named the best royal dresser or something ridiculous?
Yes, and I've been saying for over a year that since she got married, her style has massively been elevated, and she does have a stylist apparently who helps her out. I thought this year she just looked fabulous. There wasn't anything she wore that I didn't like, and I can be critical. I can say, listen, that makes you look front. There was one blue dress that Sophie wore one time to one of these garden parties. I was like, what the hell is that? Had these funky ruffles all over the front. She looked horrible. And I very well said, this is the worst dress I've ever seen. But Beatrice was looking really sharp this year.
Well, she definitely has up to style game. Whether I think she's actually the best dressed royal or not No, 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 no. I really don't think that. I think that still goes to Princess Catherine. But guys, with that being said, everyone watching on the live, stay exactly where you are. For those that are watching on the replay, if you appreciated this video and you want more, believe me, of course, there's going to be more, then make sure you subscribe to join our alternate tribe, because I'll be honest with you, help us now get to 1 million so we can also get that go play button right there and hopefully cause a Meghan Markle meltdown on Instagram. Like, share, comment down below your opinion, conspiracy theories, whatever's. Also, as well, if you appreciated what was coming out of my good friend Sue's mouth, and of course you did, then make sure you also head on over to her YouTube channel, Sue Smith, for all your daily royalty goodness. Sue, what are they to expect when they come to your part of the YouTube world?
You get a lot of, I don't like to call it gossip, I like to call it prayer concerns. We discuss everybody in the royal family, everything they're up to. Now, some people don't want to hear about certain people. They just want to hear about the working royals. If that's your jam, then skip videos 1 and 2 and go straight to video 3, because that's my palate cleanser at the end of the day. So there's something on there for everybody.
There is something on there for everybody. But yes, guys, you have just watched the non-Hazard and Megsi news of the week. Thank you so, so much for tuning in. And until the next time, you guys, laters. Hey up, live chat. How you doing so far? How are you guys liking the new Royal Clubhouse? Let me know in the live chat. But we're having so much fun so far. We're coming up to the last 2 segments, and you guys in the live chat actually get to interact on this one, because we're going to be discussing, firstly, our Royal Hero of the Week, and then, in the final segment, the Royal Zero of the Week. Sue and I have our choices. You guys get to decide out of those choices which one is the Hero and Zero of the Week. But you guys are loving it so far. Oh my goodness. Karine Caption saying very cool. Katie saying love it. Jane saying totally brilliant. Sarai saying it's fun. Andy's in the chat. Hey up, honey, how's it going? Saying Stef and Sue, my favourites. He'll know what that's all about. Hey up, honey, how's it going? I'll have you on at some point. Oh my goodness, yes. The ideas just keep coming. Anywho, everyone say hey up to my big brother Andy in the live chat right now. In the meantime, oh my goodness, Sue, are you ready?
Him. I love him. He's so nice.
Oh, right then, guys. So, with that being said, hold on to your butts, because Sue and I are going to go through the Royal Hero of the Week. Here we go. Hey up, everyone, it's me, Stef, the alternate, Gianna, the alternative, and I am joined with my good friend, Sue Smith. How are you doing, honey?
Doing just fine. How are you?
I'm not doing too bad. Thank you so much for joining me on the first ever Royal Clubhouse Live. Oh my goodness, we've been having so much fun so far. If you guys want to watch it live, then make sure you tune in every Friday, 7 o'clock UK time, 2 o'clock Eastern, and we will have so much fun, including the next discussion, which is the Royal Hero of the Week. Now, over to you, Sue, because for you, who is your Royal Hero of the Week?
My Royal Hero of the Week is Princess Anne, who after that horrible injury picked herself up with massive bruising on her face, which you could clearly see under the makeup, soldiered on and continued on doing royal duties soon as she was discharged from the hospital.
And what, in terms of like when you see her in these pictures here at the Olympics, what stands out to you the most when it comes to Princess Anne being there?
I mean, for me, you can just see that she was raised to understand duty and service to others. And she's so proud of her patronages. She doesn't just have patronages. She's like involved with all of her patronages. She's like actively involved. I don't care how many hundreds she has. If you ask her about any of them, she can tell you all about them, when they started, where they are, last time she went to visit. she's just fabulous. When she got out of the car in Scotland at the tattoo, and then they gave her the royal salute, the applause was just, it was just awe-inspiring. She reminded me so much of her mother then, the way she looked. It was fabulous.
To be fair, it's a really, really good pick because she didn't let this horse accident stand in the way of her duty and stand in the way of the commitment that she's made to the Olympic Games. She was a competitor back in 1976. She's now president of the British Olympic Association and a member of the International Olympic Committee. So it would have been quite, I would say, the scandal if she didn't appear at the Olympics, even though it would be understandable. I mean, horse pretty much, from what I know, kicked her in the face and she had a concussion and just bruising everywhere, this, that, and the other. Mere weeks later, we're now seeing her stand tall and be like, nah, I'm not gonna let a mangy freaking horse stand in the way. I'm gonna put my best glad rags on, put my makeup on, look snatched to the gods, and I'm gonna show up to the Olympics and show that horse what's what.
You know, sometimes it's hard to remember that she's 73. Hard to remember that sometimes because she doesn't look it and she doesn't act it. I've never seen I believe she was the hardest working royal. She had like the most visits last year of any other royal. I mean, I just think she's amazing. She's my hero for the week. Well, for the year.
Well, maybe for the year. Maybe we might do a special Royal Clubhouse and do one for the year. But in the meantime, my hero of the week is Queen Letizia. Now, this might be a little bit out of left field here, guys. But seriously, my logic is undeniable. Just hear me out, okay? She is wearing a very, very affordable two-piece pink kind of suit. You've got the top and you've got the skirt here, okay? And they're absolutely affordable, guys. You can get them right now from Babaki and you can literally dress like a queen for about £100, $100, right? So you've got the fuchsia tie-dye top that's on pre-order here, and you've got the long tie-dye skirt that's on pre-order. Again, you're looking at around £100, $100, and you can dress like a queen. And this is the thing, right? Whereas Megsie spends nearly £120,000 on new clothing and jewellery and looks like an absolute dog. Come the frick on, guys. Come on. She literally spends £120,000 nearly of jewellery, clothing, all this lot, right? She looks like an absolute dog. Literally in a half Muslim, half Christian country. She's literally wearing like what they would consider naked, inappropriate dresses, right? She spends £120,000 to try and impress the world and fails. Whereas the Queen of Spain spends around £100, $100 on an outfit, right? And absolutely kills it and knocks it out the park. To me, this is my hero of the week because she's showing Megsie how it's done. This is a queen, guys. And you can dress like the queen for $100 or £100 and be better than this freaking mess. And be better than, as I would call it, a freaking demented zebra. I rest my freaking case.
Oh my God.
So, thoughts?
My thought, you should have shown the one from the polo match where she flashed one of her, I don't want to say the word, I don't want to get you in
I
trouble.
was going to show that, but I thought maybe YouTube might flag that. So,
well, that's why I'm not going to say it. And also there was a hole in the side of it. I zoomed in on the picture and there was a hole, just like there was a hole in the side of her outfit when she was at the hospital that time reading. I think like this outfit that you're showing right now, where are her breasts? I'm not trying to be smart. I'm asking.
This is the thing, right? I don't care about a figure, right? To me, it's her figure's a figure, whether she's taken a Ozempic, not done, whatever. Don't care. To me, I don't think she knows the existence of a freaking tailor.
Well,
Because
yeah,
everything that she wears, it just doesn't look right.
That's because she's dressing like she's 6 foot tall, and she gets samples and she gets things to wear, and she has to send them back. So therefore they can't be altered. She has to wear them as is. And that's why they're not tailored. But the thing that's scaring me when I'm looking at this picture, I'm all for healthy weight loss and Ozempic and all of that. She is now thin to the point. I mean, look at her leg. Look at the bones sticking up. She is thin to the point where I'm beginning to wonder if this is like unhealthy now. I never subscribed to the idea that you had to be thin to be beautiful. And if she wanted to lose some weight to make herself feel better, fabulous, good for her. But I almost feel like she's too thin now. So like this is scaring me. And I wonder in my head if we're cosplaying Diana again with the eating disorder thing.
That's exactly what I was just about to say. Could this be a manipulation tactic? And I'm just asking for a friend here, whereby she's losing so much weight to try and play the Princess Diana victim card.
Right. Because everything she's done has been from the dressing to I wanted to remove myself I wanted to unalive myself while pregnant. It's all things that Diana said or did. It's creepy. But this is unhealthy thin now. This is a little scary.
Well, hopefully, I don't wish any ill will on anyone.
I don't either.
I hope that she is healthy, and if she does have any legitimate real issues, that she's getting the best help for it, this, that, and the other.
Exactly.
But yeah, this demented zebra, whereas Queen Letitia looks like a freaking queen.
So who won?
Around $100. Whereas you can spend £120,000 and freaking look like a demented zebra. Before we continue, Nancy DVI, thank you so much for the $2 sugar bucks, ruining a sugar's day by sending some sugar bucks my way, saying I'm loving the Royal Clubhouse. Me too. Also, as well, we've got Stephen Magnus. Thank you so much for the £5 sugar bucks, saying that the Hope Lab Youth Power for Responsible Technology Fund, Archwell donated $100,000, charity since 2015. They paid for awards only. I'm not freaking
It doesn't surprise me. I'm not surprised.
I'm really, really not surprised whatsoever. With that being said, guys, let's end the poll here and see where we're at. This is a runaway.
It is? Who won?
You did. You did. Well done. Well done to Sue. Princess Anne is your royal hero of the week with a whopping 97% of the votes. I got a little 2%. Thank you, guys. Thank you for, being a little bit, feeling sorry for me and giving me a couple of votes there. Love it. But yes, Princess Anne is your royal hero of the week. Guys, with that being said, for those on the replay, everyone on the live, stay exactly where you are. But for those on the replay, if you appreciated this video and you want more, believe me, of course, there's going to be more, then make sure you subscribe to join our alternate tribe, because I'll be honest with you, help us now get to 1 million so we can also get that gold play button right there and hopefully cause a Meghan Markle meltdown on Instagram. Like, share, comment down below your opinion, conspiracy theories, whatever. Also, as well, if you appreciated what came out of Sue's gob, and I'm sure you did, because a runaway success of 97% of the votes, you definitely agreed with her here, guys, then make sure you head on over to her YouTube channel, Sue Smith, for all your daily royal goodness. Sue, in a nutshell, what are they to expect when they come to your corner of YouTube?
I cover all the working royals, from the good to the bad. So you'll get everything from Harry and Meghan, Andrew, Beatrice, Eugenie, all the way up to the King and Camilla, and even some of the royals that are not UK royals, they're royals in other parts of the world.
Yeah, like Queen Letizia.
Like
Even
Queen
though you guys didn't vote for her, you didn't vote for the Queen. I am ashamed of you all. Oh my goodness, no. I kid. Everyone on the live, stay exactly where you are. We're not done with you yet. But all those on the replay, thank you so much for tuning in. And until the next time, you guys, laters. All right, so that was the Royal Hero of the Week, guys. We did have a couple more support coming through. Donna, thank you so much for your continued support for the leadership, saying Princess Anne is made of great stuff. Us horsewomen let nothing stop us. I used to ride horses when I was younger.
Really?
Very, very lucky. Yeah, I was very, very lucky in my childhood to actually ride horses. Yeah, there was a next door neighbour, my brother's godmother, who owns horses, and yeah, we used to go every weekend and go to the local horse riding centre. And yeah, I remember Primrose and Gingerbread. Gingerbread was like the little ginger Shetland pony, and Primrose was like this big ass major like brown horse, this mare that I loved to ride on a saddle, but at one point they tried me without the saddle for a fancy dress where I was dressed as, I think, like the fairy godmother or something like that, and my brother was dressed as like Robin Hood. As soon as I got on that horse, I fell off. I just could not. I was just slipping and sliding on that horse all day long. It was insane. But yeah, I've ridden horses. How about you, Sue?
I rode horses when I was younger. Of course, I grew up in New York, in New Rochelle. So my father used to take us to, I don't even know where we used to go. And I used to ride some horses. I haven't been on a horse since I was 16. Long time ago.
Long time ago. Well, a long time ago for me too. Bloody hell, it's like over, what? It's over 30 years since I've been on a horse.
How many years?
Over 30 years since I've been on a horse, yeah.
See, I was 16, which means for me it was 46 years. No, 43 years. Been a while. 43 years since I've been on a horse. No, thank you. I'm good.
I'd go on a horse again. I'd get back on that saddle. Saddle, mind you, not bareback. Screw that noise. Rivet 3, Dove, thank you so much for the $5 sugar bucks. Ruining a sugar's day by sending some sugar bucks my way. And saying you're number one. Oh, well, thank you. Sue's number one too. Don't forget Sue. And Hazel Monty Engel finding my favourite ginger doggy fine arts moment and the £2 sugar bucks. Yay. Love it. Thank you so much. Guys, though, with that being said, we're going to be ending now with our final segment for Royal Clubhouse. And this is now the Royal Zero of the Week. So in 3, 2, 1, let's go. Hey up everyone, it's me, Stef, the alternate, your nerdy alternative, and I am joined live with my good friend Sue Smith. Thank you so much for joining me on the first ever Royal Clubhouse Live. Appreciate your face. And we are going to kick off now with the Royal Zero of the Week. Everyone in the live chat, stay tuned because there will be a poll up and you get to choose your Royal Hero, your Royal Zero of the Week when I can get my teeth in. But with that being said, Sue, let's kick off with you. Who is your Royal Zero of the Week?
Harry. Harry is my royal hero or zero of the week. What a zero. Ugh.
Why?
Because I think Meghan has cut off his testicles and stuck them in a drawer with a bomb next to them. And I think she's got the detonator in her hand. And he has never once been able to stand up to her. And, they did multiple edits of that CBS interview and he's sitting there looking all uncomfortable. He should have said, cut, get your hand off my knee. Instead, he's leaning like this as far over as he can get. This man has no balls. He has never been able to stand up to his wife. And I just feel like he's just like, I'm glad the two of them met each other. Now the two of them are the only ones miserable instead of 4 people. There you go.
I tell you something though, the body language mirrored what happened at the ESPYs a couple of weeks back. Did you notice that?
I did notice that. And I also noticed as they were leaving the ESPYs, they were horribly heckled and somebody yelled out, "She's no Princess of Wales." And I mean, they word out, or I heard a rumor. I usually don't report on unsubstantiated rumors, but word out through the grapevine is that somebody asked them to leave because they were distracting. And there were a lot of veterans there that were actually very upset that Harry accepted that award. So, he immediately got that award and then they left the building in the middle of the show. They didn't stick around for everybody else to get their awards. And then they got heckled on their way out the door. So I have absolutely no doubt that that's what happened. He should never have accepted that award.
No, he should have never accepted that award. But you see here the same kind of body language where Megsy's leaning in, hand on his knee, and Prince Hazard, he's leaning away. He don't want out to do. Exact same body language at the ESPYs. His hands again the same in the middle. Nowhere near Megsy. There is no reciprocal kind of physical affection from Harry to Meghan as there is from Meghan to Hazard. And if anything, I don't think here that this is any kind of physical affection from Megsy to Hazard. I think this is Megsy through physical touch trying to control Hazard.
She was telling him to be quiet is what I think was happening. But I also noticed that the Etsy awards are not the Etsy, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
She grabbed his hand as he was getting up. Literally, he had to get her off. And, so I almost feel like she wanted him to pull her up onto the stage. And he was like, no. But at the same time, he had no business on that stage. They say they gave him that award because of Invictus. Then he should have had some representatives from Invictus show up and collect the awards, not the patron who uses Invictus as a cash cow. You're looking at people that are multimillionaires that have earned, by their own admission, they've earned $50-60 million between the Spare, Spotify, and Netflix total. And yet they refuse to pay for their own airfare, their own hotel, their own security, her clothing and jewelry. This is all part of Invictus, is from what I can tell. And this is why when other people complained about it, 2 of the upper level people complained, they were removed and there was a shuffle. And even with all the money that Canada has pledged, there's a shortfall and morale is low and people are worried. Look at Germany. Germany's split off completely. They're doing their own Invictus thing. They're not part of this anymore. He should never have taken that award. But beyond that, he has no balls. He can't stand up to his wife. That marriage is not equal. You can't have a good marriage if you're not equal. And they're not equal.
No, they're not. And just a little bit of a side note in terms of what you said there about the Canadian Vancouver Whistler Games. I've reported it on this channel. Angela Levin has turned around and said through her sources that the Canadian delegate, they don't want the Invictus Games anymore. It's over budget. It's all about the Hazard and Megsy show. The spotlight ain't on the veterans. It's an absolute nightmare. They just want to drop it like it's hot shiz at this point.
I heard, again, there was a rumor, it was online, that the reason that Birmingham was chosen for the next Invictus Games in the UK, even though Birmingham declared bankruptcy and they're up to their eyeballs in debt, they had already announced it was between those 2 places. Washington withdrew their offer. That's what the rumor is.
Okay.
So they kind of had to choose Birmingham, even though they're up to their, the trash isn't being picked up. They're dimming the streets lights at night. They're closing the libraries and they're cutting all the services because they don't have the money and they just declared bankruptcy. But yet somehow they're going to have the money for Invictus.
Make it make sense. I did a video on this actually a couple of weeks ago when it was announced that Birmingham was going to hold the next Invictus Games. And let's put it this way. To me, it's not surprising when Hazard was swanning around being pally-pally with the Veterans Minister. That same Veterans Minister that on one of his court cases, which is the one where he's fighting the UK government for taxpayer security, the judge there reprimanded Hazard, turning around and saying, you've just let out confidential information outside of the circle of trust to other people, including, the Veterans Minister.
Yeah.
Oh, this ain't a coincidence at all, I don't think.
This is a man who screams about privacy and has no problem violating other people's privacy. He's violated court orders. His wife has been caught lying in court. You know, this is a man who says, just call me Harry. But then in court, when Harry and Meghan are on these events, they ask to be called sir and ma'am. I mean, I wonder if we're going to see all that hand-holding crap in Colombia. We'll see. It'll be interesting to see what happens.
It'll definitely be interesting to see what it happens. So that is Sue's zero of the week. Prince Hazard. For me, guys, it's Megsie. It's Megsie, and let me explain why. The CBS interview, of course, dominated the Hazard and Megsie world this week, and she just freaking contradicted herself every which way that she could, really, at this point, including this little nugget here. So I mentioned earlier on in the live stream, about 4 months ago when she was at that South by West panel, she turns around and she says that here, you can watch this video, that she doesn't go on social media or the internet. She stays away from it for her own sanity. However, in this new interview from CBS, all of a sudden she knows what's going on, guys, on social media. She knows what's going on the internet. She says we know what's going on in the online space. Well, hang on a minute. How do you know what's going on in the online space if in the same breath you stay away from said online space? It makes zero sense. So to me, what has she just done? Opinion, conspiracy theory, whatever. She has just exposed herself for having, as far as I'm concerned, secret social media accounts, which we've all suspected that she's had for a while. I mean, Neil Sean has even said, that she's got 7, 8.
6 of them,
Six of them, apparently. Baroness Brooke is supposedly one of them. Maya is supposedly another. Opinion, conspiracy theory, whatever, right? So for me, her turning around here 4 or 5 months later and saying, we know what's going on in the online space. She's just exposed herself. She goes on the internet. She goes on social media. She's got socials. And what she said here was an absolute load of freaking BS. And for the cherry on top, guys, the royal family completely give her 2 fingers up in the air. It's your birthday. We don't give a shiz, lass. We don't give a shiz. We ain't publicly acknowledging it. Screw you, you evil moo cow, you. We're done. We're done. So for me, guys, that is my royal zero of the week. The poll is already up, guys, in the live chat. You've got a few more minutes to vote before we end this segment and the first ever Royal Clubhouse live with myself and Sue Smith. We do have a couple of very, very kind support coming our way. Stephen Magnus gifting 1 leadership to one of you lucky lots out there. So everyone say, hey, up to our newest leader, courtesy of Stephen Magnus. Appreciate your face. Thank you, thank you. And Catherine Thompson responded in kind, gifted another leadership to one of you lucky lots out there. So everyone say, hey, up to our newest leaders, courtesy of Stephen and Catherine. And that only means one thing, guys. It's nearly the end of the stream, but officially the gifting wars have begun.
Who was the best? Who was the best zero? Who won?
We're going to find out in a minute. But thank you so much to Catherine for gifting that. Appreciate your face. We also have Ms. M, who has gifted 1 leadership to one of you lucky lots out there. So everyone say, hey, up to our newest leader, courtesy of Ms. M. You got a few more seconds to vote, so make your vote count in the poll. We've got Sarai. Thank you so much for your continued support for the leadership, saying, LOL, I love what you're saying, Sue. He has no balls.
I think we pretty much knew that he'd been neutered. Oh my God.
Pretty much.
Oh my God.
Neutered with a blunt,
Object.
rusty object of some kind. Who freaking knows at this point? With that being said, let's end this poll and see what's what. Oh my goodness. Here we go. All right, so 155 of you voted. Drum roll, please. With a whopping 70% of the vote, Megsie. Yes!
Oh, you won this.
I won one. Yes, I won one.
But she's always the worst. Just once, you got to let Harry be worse than her. Just
Hey,
once.
sometimes Hazard's the worst. Like a couple of weeks back on the SBs, he would have been voted the worst.
Oh,
I would have thought.
absolutely.
I would have thought.
Absolutely.
So no, it's not so much of a slam dunk. But yeah, your roll zero of the week is Meghan Markle with a whopping 70% of the votes, with Prince Harry coming in with 29% of the votes. Guys, everyone on the live stream, stay exactly where you are. We will be running for a couple more minutes. Everyone else on the replay, if you appreciated this video and you want more, believe me, of course, there's going to be more, then make sure you subscribe to join our alternate tribe, because I'll be honest with you, help us now get to 1 million so we can also get that gold play button right there and hopefully cause a Meghan Markle meltdown on Instagram. Like, share, comment down below your opinion, conspiracy theories, whatever's. Also as well, if you appreciated what was coming out of Sue's gob, and nearly 30% of you did, so head on over to Sue's channel here on the YouTube. Sue, when they come over to your channel, what are they to expect?
They're going to get all the royal news, everybody from Harry and Meghan to Andrew to the King and Charles. You get everything. And you also get information on the royals that are not from the UK, other royals.
Interesting. So if you love that, and of course you do, head on over to Sue's channel right now. Again, everyone on the live stream, stay exactly where you are. But for those watching on the replay, thank you so much for tuning in. Appreciate your faces. Until the next time, laters. Hey up those on the live chat. We've got a few more messages of support before we go. Hazel Monty Engel coming in, gifting a whopping 5 leaderships to some of you lucky lots out there. So everyone say, hey up to our newest leaders, courtesy of Hazel Monty Engel. Appreciate your face. Thank you so much. Also as well, we've got Al Slim. Thank you so much for that wonderful $10 sugar box. Ruining a sugar's day by sending some sugar bucks my way. Saying great time slot. Love watching live from California. Love you both. Well, thank you. Appreciate your face. Thank you so much. But yeah, as we, I suppose, wrap this up for the first ever Royal Clubhouse. Sue, in a nutshell, for this week, for Hazard and Megsie, what do you think?
I think they need to pay more money for PR is what I think. And they need to stay out of the public eye, because I think it's pretty obvious that most people are over them. It's pretty obvious their marriage is in the toilet. They're not fooling anybody. And everybody's just sick of them giving donations to charities and then claiming the work as their own. They work an hour a week. Their own tax return pointed that out. They need to just go away quietly. Not that that'll happen.
Bye-bye. Piss off. Like, yeah.
God.
Bye-bye. Sayonara. We don't need you anymore. We don't want you
now.
anymore. It was what? Donald Trump's son, Eric Trump, turning around and being like, we'll just ship him back to UK. I'm like, no. In slow motion, it's like, no.
He's called them bad apples.
I know. He called them bad apples. He called them bad actors.
Bad actress.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, it was insane. But I was like, no, we have enough ginger whingers. And narcissistic, sociopathic cowbags in this country. We do not need any more. If anything, ship them to Nigeria, or better still, ship them to freaking Colombia. Do you know what? What's the betting that she's going to turn around and be like, oh, guess what? I'm 10% Colombian. Come on! Come on!
Don't forget, she also said she was part Malta. She tried to appropriate Malta. That didn't work. Then she said Nigerian. She has yet to prove to anybody that that's even true. And yes, I think she's going to try to appropriate Colombian also. I think she'll appropriate anything that she can get her hands on.
I mean, in the UK, we definitely have our problems at the moment. Let's be real here. She's the freaking bed. And, screw you, Keir Starmer. But this is the thing, right? Hazard turns around and says, oh, I can't bring Megsie to UK because she'll be a victim of a knife or acid attack. Yet goes to one of the dangerous countries in the world, Nigeria, and now Colombia.
Forget that. He's living here in the United States where everybody has a gun. You don't even need to be close to her to kill her. But he's, I mean, if anything, this whole thing is just, it's a joke. And now, because it's pretty obvious he's not going to win. I did this in a video the other day. Apparently, some of Harry's friends are sending inappropriate messages to the king saying, you're his dad. You could fix this if you wanted. He's now reaching out to his father to get it. His father is not going to interfere in the government and interfere in the court system. But that's what he's asked him to do. He's going to lose. And I have no issues. He's worth $60 million. He can afford his own security. What he wants is for every country that he goes to give him in Nigeria, they had like a 17-car convoy with tanks and like submachine guns. This is what he wants. And he wants it, when he first came to the United States, he came over on that diplomatic visa, which is why he had U.S. protection, Secret Service protection. When he got off of that visa, you no longer see the Secret Service agents hanging around. They're gone because now he's got his own protection team and he's not on a diplomatic visa.
Well, speaking of that visa, it'll be interesting to see how the judge rules on that one. Interesting.
He should have ruled by now. No. This has been how many months he's been looking at whether he's going to release this information?
No. So my good friend, John Witherspoon, who's the lawyer at DC, he's turned around and he said, that's not how it works. So what happens is the judge will rule on each case as they come in date order. And so he's probably not come round to Hazard's case yet with the Heritage Foundation and the Biden government. He's looking at all the other cases that have come before that first to make a ruling. And then when it comes up to Hazard's in date order, that's when he'll look at it and make a ruling then. So it's just a matter of time of just going through the backlog to get to Hazard's and for him to make a decision.
It's not going to matter because Biden's UK, the United States attaché to the UK, has already come out and said publicly that as long as Biden is in office, Harry will not be deported. You have all these other people that couldn't come in because they used drugs one time 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And here you have Harry, who's in the United States, who admits that he's currently using all these drugs. And Biden's people are saying, well, it doesn't matter. We're not going to throw him out. So he's already getting preferential treatment, which is really upsetting a lot of people. All these people that weren't able to come in could lodge lawsuits against the U.S. government for what has happened here.
Yeah.
But so, I mean, which is why I think Eric Trump has made a point of bringing up a talking point about Trump saying, if Trump finds out that Harry lied, they're going to take the appropriate steps, which is why I think Harry and Meghan are worried that Trump might get elected, which is why it's being reported. They are messaging William's not responding. They're messaging Catherine's not responding. They're trying to get in touch with the king. Of course, we all know the king doesn't have a cell phone. They have to go through the courtiers. And after all the damage he's done, they're not going to bring them back into the fold. You can't just come back and act like I'm going to go work with these people that you claimed were racist and that you lied about and you said all these horrible things about. They're not going to take you back. And to be fair, now obviously you live there. I don't believe the UK public would tolerate either one of them picking up where they left off.
Hell no.
I don't think it would be a good thing.
Hell no. Hell no. America, you can freaking keep them. If you want to
No,
deport
thank
them,
you.
take them
No,
to fucking
thank you.
Africa. If you want to deport them, deport them to Nigeria, Colombia, their newfound home or whatever you want to call it. Screwball nose.
Colombia is not a Commonwealth country, and none of the other Commonwealth countries after Nigeria have offered them anything. In case you didn't notice, nobody's offering them anything. And I don't believe that Colombia just suddenly reached out. I think the people at Archwell are reaching out to different countries, seeing what could be arranged. And I think Colombia are the only people that stepped up to the table.
Is it not?
What?
No, it's not. Oh, yeah. Good point.
No, Colombia's not a Commonwealth country.
No, that's a good point. But the thing is, that actually makes a lot of sense because as soon as the Nigerian trip had ended, reports were coming out that King Charles was trying to use back channels to the rest of the Commonwealth nations to stop them from being invited to other countries. I think it was Gambia that was next on the roster because it was Gambia then initially that turned around after their Nigerian trip, turned around and said, "Oh, we might want Hazard and Megsi over."
Correct. And it was the first lady of Nigeria after that disastrous trip where she was dressed so inappropriately.
Yeah.
Where she came out and said, you know, we don't like this nakedness. The girls need to cover up. We don't like this. And it's being rumored that they attempted to meet with the first lady and the first lady said no because she didn't want to upset King Charles and Camilla and it was not an official trip. So she refused the visit. We know that they made a stop to, I don't even know where. Megsian Hazard is from Nigeria. So it's the talk is that Megsian Hazard had a big hand in arranging everything. And I'm sure he'll be there in Colombia snapping away.
Yeah.
You know, the pictures. I just want to say one thing, what you were pointing out about the clothing. I think Meghan's biggest problem is she dresses like she's 20. She is 43 years old. She needs to dress like a 43-year-old. She's wearing outfits that are appropriate for somebody in their 20s and early 30s, not a mother in her almost mid 40s. Her clothing is inappropriate and her taste is not good. She doesn't know anything about tailoring. And, you know, when they used to go to the Commonwealth countries, they would walk with these big binders. And what those binders were was the information that the palace combined for them on what to wear, what the local customs were, what's appropriate, what's not appropriate. Harry and Meghan don't do any research. They just throw themselves out there. And it doesn't end well. And a blind item just came out saying that Meghan had requested a private jet to Colombia.
Not surprised. I think that goes without saying, really. I don't think you need a blind item for that one. You do not need a blind item for Megsi to be requesting a private jet. You know, come the frick on. Blind items do better.
She loves her private jets.
That's freaking obvious. That's obvious. Guys, with that being said, that is the end of the first ever Royal Clubhouse Live. I want to huge humongous thank you to Sue for being my first guest and be so patient because this has been what I think since like November time last year I was discussing this kind of whole thing of doing something like this, and it's been a while, but we've got there in the end. And I said right then, you're gonna be my first guest, and I true to my word. Sue's my first guest. You're welcome anytime, love. You know this. But guys, if you loved what was coming out of her gob, and why wouldn't you, then make sure, if you haven't done so already, you subscribe to Sue over on YouTube for your daily royalty. Also, as well, if you like what was coming out of my gob and you're watching on the replay, then make sure you subscribe to join our alternate tribe. Like, share, comment down below your opinion, conspiracy theories, whatever's, and do help us get to 1 million so we can also get that go play button right there and hopefully cause a Meghan Markle meltdown on Instagram. With that being said, that is all, folks. Again, huge thanks to Sue for joining me on my first ever Royal Clubhouse Live. Thanks to all of you that tuned in live and gave this a go. It will only get better and better, guys. With that being said, the next live stream will be on Sunday, 10 o'clock UK time, 5 o'clock Eastern for the Daily Nerd Live Sunday edition. Throughout the weekend, you will get the snippets of Royal Clubhouse. So they'll be all released as individual videos. So bite-sized little Royal Clubhouse videos for you lot. So there'll be content all over this weekend. But yeah, guys, appreciate your faces. Thank you so much for joining in. Until the next time, you guys. Laters. Bye.
Y'all.